back to yet another episode of the Baldwin Kids Podcast, a space dedicated to discussing sociopolitics, mental health issues, and nerd culture. I am the inimitable Kay.
And I'm the buttered Vesta.
Buttered?
Listen.
Why do
there were so many that I had running through my head, and I couldn't pick one.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't pick Creamy or something.
I already did Creamy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did Creamy a couple episodes ago.
Oh, mea culpa.
Creamy, moist.
As I hear half of our audience recoil.
Moist.
Don't you, bitch. Rude.
All right.
Like, don't make me do this whole podcast in my certain Sesame Street character voice.
No, I felt it. I felt it coming out your throat.
I feel it coming.
You leave Daft Punk featuring The Weeknd out of this.
Oof. Even though it's credited as the other way around, but let's be honest.
Well, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Okay, this is already a mess starting off. Anyway, so let's get started with we'll jump right into our Democrats and Republicans segment.
Yeah.
Starting with the Chronicles of Thinly Veiled Racism.
You know, I kept saying in the past episodes I put a reverb and echo, and then I keep forgetting to do it. I'll remember this time. Probably won't, but I'll do it. I'll do it this time.
Sure, Jan. Anyway, so we're gonna start off with the shutdown has ended. Finally. At least at time of recording, for all we know, we might witness another tantrum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it recommences, but we shall see.
I want my tax return.
You and me both, bitch. I got plans.
I have plans. I got a trip to go on. I got shoes to buy.
Wigs to snatch. Shade to throw.
You're going to say shade of butter.
Shea to butter.
Shade of butter.
Okay.
Coconut to oil.
Okay, so we're going to try to keep it pushing. So, the shutdown is over for the time being, at least until February 15th, which, please tell me I'm not the only person that finds it a teensy bit suspect that it is ending, and then apparently restarting right around the big game TM. Because the last thing we need is any NFL litigators trying to come at us or saying something about a rather superb owl. Think about how those are spelled.
You know.
What? I'm only talking about Hedwig.
But, yeah, listen, with my job, I paid very close attention to that. I don't really have a choice. But I was like, it's ending when? When's the game?
C'est très intéressant. What? I could also just do this whole podcast in French.
That's what we not finna do.
All right. So anyway, I feel like the shutdown got at least postponed due to Nancy Pelosi continuing to unfurl.
Just sissy walked all on that motherfucker. Just like, did I stutter? Did I stutter?
For those who aren't psychic, Vesta was voguing during that whole thing. Anyway, Nancy Pelosi basically doubled down on her "you get nothing, good day, sir."
You get nothing. Good day.
Maybe should I pull up the actual letter? Because honestly, it's a work.
The letter is
a work
beautiful
of art.
I aspire one day when I have an office job, if I have an office job, I want to type letters like that on a regular basis. As per my last email.
Yeah. So basically, she pulled a government level per my last email. With that very subtle, in my further correspondence of January 16th, I said we should work together to find a mutually agreeable date when government has reopened, and I hope we can still do that.
I'll live.
Like, I could just
I'll live. I live for that.
Same. And in this letter, she intentionally avoided using his name all over the place.
I know.
And we know the president is a raging narcissist who
Oh,
doesn't
I
read,
love
who
it.
tries to avoid reading things if they don't contain, unless they contain his name or are directly pertaining to him.
Yeah, his name
If
wasn't
he
anywhere
reads.
in there.
I still feel like he's got things dictated to him.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, that I don't know. That letter just gave me my entire life. But we can't give Madame Pelosi all the credit.
Right.
Because the the air traffic controllers at LaGuardia in New York were like, you know what, fuck working for free,
Yep.
and ended up shutting down incoming flights to LaGuardia, which ended up putting more stress on nearby airports, which also had some brand of shutting down.
Yep. I love it. I live.
And I'm just wondering if this is going to be when people start realizing that they have more power in their hands than they understand.
Oh, wow.
That if they stand and put their hands in their pockets and do nothing, the entire system grinds to a halt.
You know, I'm just gonna find
some dramatic.
No, I'm just
lightning.
gonna play I'm just gonna play Snake Eater under that. Boom, 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 boom.
What a thrill! Anyway, before Kojima jumps down our throats,
I know.
can we also talk about the fact that the notorious AOC? Yes, she gets that title now too. The notorious AOC was like, "Oh hey girl, I'm gonna jump on this 24-hour stream or something. I forget the exact details of which. But long story short, a prominent Twitch streamer put on a 24-hour stream to try to 100% one of the Donkey Kong games, and was raising money during it to combat transphobia.
Yes.
And there were a couple of big names that popped up on there, and I wish I had a list in front of me. I could not find one in time enough for us to be enlisted. But but one of the names that popped up on there was none other than, like I said, the notorious AOC, who stand all day long for trans rights, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Jumping ahead a teeny bit, speaking of women in politics, so Kamala Harris has announced her candidacy for being POTUS, and
Yeah. Okay, girl.
so there is 1/3 of me that's like, yes, black women. There's the other 2/3 of me that are like, not that black woman.
Yeah, not that one.
No, because let's see, she in 2017 was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. Try saying that 5 times fast without a Hebrew tongue. Who, is in the process of kicking black folks out of Israel. Either is or was. I know it's still happening. I forget if it had already started by the time the two had met.
Right.
But she's all for harsher policing and such. A vicious prosecutor, like when she was San Francisco's district attorney, when was it? Convictions rose by about 15% while she was in office. She's... I want to like her. I want to, but I can't.
I don't.
Okay. though, here's the thing, and I'll give people credit or corrections when they're due. Like, as much as I despise Anita Wall, I'm sticking to that.
Catches me off guard, like, suddenly. I'm like, oh.
As much as I despise Anita Wall, there are so many things that are actually happening that you can call out that you don't need to make up bullshit, and I will gladly point out said bullshit.
Yep.
Because, again, there's enough happening that we don't need to fake anything. In much the same vein, I'm not even remotely a fan of Kamala Harris, but at the same time, somebody's trying to hurl some birther conspiracy at her before the whole, presidential race even starts. And I'm over here like,
no. Absolutely not.
No, she may be trash, but stop it.
Stop. No.
Are you trying to
I'll press it.
Are you done?
No. So,
Anyway, so since our last recording, did we talk about Gillette last week?
Nope.
So, long story short, men are trash. Anyway.
What the fuck is a Gillette?
The fuck is a Gillette?
Sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
Surely you're kidding.
Gillette sucks.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That commercial is wholesome.
It really is.
And anybody who got their jimmies rustled by it is probably the trash that they were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of said rustled jimmies were rustled over the Boys Will Be Boys. The chorus of dads standing behind grills.
But I want my son's shitty activities to be defended like mine were.
Or, and I say this at the end of every episode, we could do better.
What? How dare you?
Like, girl.
It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, bye y'all.
Like, just like if I used actual razors, I'd be inclined to maybe try out Gillette stuff, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I tried, and my skin was like, "Oh, girl, you thought this would work?
You thought this was a game?"
And then,
ingrown hairs, just pain,
ingrown hairs, razor bumps, just the whole nine.
Check, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Next. All right. So moving on to something that's been bugging me. So the transgender military ban is going through.
Yep, sure is. We're banning whole ass people.
Yeah,
we're just banning people.
And here's the thing: every single soldier that I've heard commenting about this, you know what they've said? Something along the lines of,
Don't care.
I don't care if you are gay, straight, black, white, brown, red, yellow, anything.
Purple,
magenta, cyan, peridot, garnet, amethyst,
and pearl, and Steven.
We'll get to that. Oh, bitch, y'all, I can't wait. Anyway, but here's the thing. Every soldier that I've heard comment about this is along the lines of, as long as they can do their job, I don't care if they identify as, the pole down the street.
Literally. I just don't understand. Y'all just are scared that you're gonna... Never mind. It's not
like, I don't even...
It makes no sense. Zero.
And that's the thing. Like, if y'all hear me just going, the whole time, it's because I am stunned to nigh silence as to the pointlessness of something that has so much steam behind it.
I know, y'all really... hey, don't draft them. Trans folks will keep the world populated, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But my biggest beef with this whole ban is that, I have my own beef with the military, but that's for another episode. Mm-hmm. But my thing is that this feels like the beginning of trying to progressively dehumanize trans people more and more. I mean, we've already got Japan demanding that trans people, in order to change their... I'm just going to mention it and we can move on. That in order for trans people's birth certificates to be recognized, they need to get sterilized.
That's so... Yep, that's a thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. Moving on to an add-on to something we mentioned last week. So, do y'all remember when that angry governor from X-Men, Mike Pence, was saying that ISIS had been defeated?
And then a bomb went off.
And then there was an attack in Syria that killed, 5 Americans?
Mm-hmm.
But ISIS is defeated.
Okay, girl.
So, what I'm wondering is... what the fuck was that? Anyway, so, what I'm wondering is there going to be a double standard? Which, don't hold your breath because there will be. But is there going to be a double standard held for Hillary Clinton versus Michael Pence and Donald Trump? Because Hillary is still being the target of attempted drags behind Benghazi.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't, at the very least, she didn't have the gall to try to say that ISIS has been defeated and then have an attack happen the same day. So I'm wondering if these same people that are, foaming at the mouth about soldiers and people overseas and stuff, I'm wondering if they're going to actually say anything, or if it's just going to be okay that they messed up because they're white men. I wonder. So that's it for our Democrats from Republican section, at the very least. Or is it? No, we've got our rapid fire segment.
Bang,
I'm on crack.
bang.
Shoo shoo.
Into the room.
So we're thinking of two completely different songs.
You sure are.
Because I'm thinking Beatles, you're thinking Ariana, Jessie J, Nicki Minaj. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like there was a fourth voice on that song.
No.
Anyway, moving
That
on.
was just Nicki's.
You leave Necklace out of this.
Nicki Minaj.
Anyway, so we're moving on to our rapid fire section.
Bang, bang.
Starting off with Rep. Peter Welch. Oh, child. You know who
I don't know about this.
Oh, you don't know about this?
No, I don't.
So, long story short, this guy was all up and up. He was mad. He was so... So,
It was mad.
he's so mad about the shutdown because never in this country's history have people been forced to work for free.
Oh, really? No.
And the entire black population was like,
Oh, really?
do go on. I would love to hear all about how this is absolutely unprecedented. I'm sure my great-grandmother would also like to hear about how that's completely unprecedented. As well as my great-great-grandmother, and her mother before her, and her mother before her.
Yellow.
Yeah.
This is completely unprecedented.
Like, how, somebody
girl.
posted something on Facebook that took me all the way out. Where it was that tweet, and then, it was a screen cap from, I think it was a Daily Show video back when Jon Stewart was still running it, where someone was like, Obamacare is going to be the worst thing that ever happened to this country. And then the guy that's interviewing the woman that said that pulls out a megaphone, and is like, do you remember fucking slavery? And it's just a screen grab of that, and it took me to the ground. Because, like I said, there was just a collective black sigh behind that tweet.
Bitch.
Anyway, that was really long for a rapid fire.
Yeah, I know.
So Anita Wall's approval rating is falling ever further.
Surprise, surprise.
And, in fact, has fallen so far that it is under his impeachment rating. Like, more people want him impeached than those who actually approve of him.
Surprise.
Quick reminder for anybody new, when I say Anita Wall, I mean Donald Trump. I just find it funnier to give him a drag name and go by that.
Yeah, because he looks like one without makeup. That was mean. That was mean.
I mean, the problem is that you're not wrong. Okay, so moving on to something that unfortunately requires very little attention because this is America. There have been 2 shootings since we recorded last. Probably more, but these are 2 that actually made it to the news. So I'm wondering, speaking of Anita Wall, I'm wondering, like, I'm actually surprised. That wall must be really effective to stop all those dangerous criminals from being born here to white parents. I believe it was Louisiana. No. I'm sorry, I got the order backwards. It was a SunTrust Bank in Florida, and I just had it. It was something in Louisiana, but I forget exactly where. Well, still.
I'm just not even.
Here's the thing, and here's why shootings usually end up in our rapid fire section. We as a country decided that mass murders or mass shootings were okay when we decided that Sandy Hook didn't require any action.
Bloop.
So until some actual action happens behind it, then it's gonna be unless there's like a massive kill count, it's gonna probably be stuck in our rapid fire section. And it sounds callous, but at the same time,
it happens so often. We can't call this the Bald Lincoln's podcast featuring another shooting somewhere.
Yeah, basically, cause
happens almost every week.
Because let's see how many shootings happened in 2018. Making my own hold music. No, this is 2019, girl. Oh, Jesus. So, apparently there were 1,148 over the course of last year.
This is cool,
Okay.
but this is supposed to be rapid fire.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna stick it to rapid fire. Long story short, though, this happens so damn often. I want to say there were more than 300 last year. So yeah, no. Anyway, where is the rest of my rapid fire notes? There we go. Okay, next we're gonna talk about the Covington Catholic kids.
You can talk about it. I got shit to say.
I'm not gonna waste a whole bunch of breath on them.
Actually, I do have stuff to say.
Oh,
Y'all ain't shit.
is that it?
Y'all suck.
I mean,
Like, come on. Like, y'all are literally just 4chan troll baiters in personified. Can y'all go
away.
away?
Anyway, here's the thing. Y'all can wear Diet Clan hoods if you want. I hear they're available in red and blue now.
Oh.
But don't get mad when people call you racist trash for doing so, especially at a school that has documented evidence of kids, doing themselves up in blackface
Oh, yeah.
at sports events. Like,
It's the
if it steps like a
50s
goose
up in here.
if it steps like a goose and hiles like a goose.
Affleck.
But as a sidebar, why the fuck does the main little shit whose name I am intentionally not giving him any more airtime to? Why is that main little shit that was staring down?
He's crying now. He's all butthurt about.
What is with? You know what? Let me not alienate some more listeners and going on about how white tears happen. Anyway, why does he have a PR rep?
He does.
He does.
For what? Being not shit?
For being
A dumb little. Next.
Thank you. Though I'm sure, Tamir, Sandra, Mike, Trayvon, Eric, etc. would have loved to have had a posthumous PR rep to keep them from being dragged up and down the mud. Was that the remix?
No, I'm just angry. I didn't know he had a PR rep. That's a whole nother level of.
Oh yeah, girl, I mentioned that to you.
shitness.
Like, I'll show you during our break.
Okay, tight.
Okay. Almost done. So, Sarah Huckabee Sanders has been avoiding press briefings because the press is mean and they ask hard questions and they like to band up against me. Like, who gave the Mucinex germ a wig and told them to lie? I mean, talk to the press. What is this, a karate movie? That was the biggest delay.
It was just a real slow reach for that button.
But, like,
Like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and get disinfected.
If you don't woman up and face the hard questions
You're a
with some actual...
politician, deal with it.
Like, she's not a politician.
Or you're a...
She's a hired mouthpiece for the Tanzania.
You're another Monica.
Like,
Oops.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge that beyond this. Just, like, because the press is mean, because they ask hard questions, because they won't let you get away with flat out lying to their faces. Like, even Fox News is starting to get tired of this shit.
Yeah, I bet you
Fox News.
If you don't keep your fucking mouth shut. Ugh.
Alright, and last but not least, and this is actually some kind of good news. Might be good news. Jason Van Dyke is his adorable sentence, which, for those who forget, he was sentenced to 81 months in prison for lighting up Laquan McDonald like a target and reloading and continuing to light him up. 81 months, for those who don't do math, is 6 3/4 years.
Still not happy about that.
It's looking like his sentencing is going to be revisited, which does not fall under double jeopardy.
Oh.
Which means he might actually get some actual time that he actually deserves.
Oh. There he go.
But I mean I want to be optimistic, but this country's ain't shit levels are high enough that I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yep.
But that's actually, since it's something semi-positive, is a good way to segue into our palate cleanse.
My God. That sounded like the buzzer when you're like pulling into a car wash and it's telling you to stop driving forward. That's what that sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
Rude. I'm just gonna make it uglier and uglier as the show goes on. Watch, by
Then it's just gonna be a bass boost and it's just gonna be a yell.
By the time we hit episode 50 or something, it's just gonna be. Okay. Okay.
Palette.
Watch, then by the time we hit episode 75, it's just going to mutate so much it'll be palette skirt skirt.
No.
Rude. Anyway, so we're going to start off with the teeny tiny dynamo named Simone Biles, who has been named ESPN's most dominant athlete. Like, don't get me wrong, I love and stand for Serena.
Yep.
But Serena doesn't break physics.
True. No disrespect at all.
She quite literally, like, physicists are just like, girl, what? How the fuck?
How you do that?
She has a move that has developed the nickname The Biles, which in so many terms is basically her doing 2 flips. The second flip with a twist, so she lands, 180 degrees opposite of what she started at. But these are 2 full body flips. Like, normally you would think of flips as somebody like curled up into a ball. She is, like, basically standing up just in the air and rotating.
Holy shit.
Twice. She manages to get that enough power to launch herself up that high.
Damn.
Casual reminder, I was going to say this girl, but she is a smooth 21 years old.
This whole woman.
She is a smooth 4'8".
God damn.
I know.
4'8".
I want to give her a hug. She's up there with Marie Kondo with tiny people I want to give a hug. But
Marie Kondo is invading everyone's life in the most positive way.
Yeah, y'all should see my dresser drawers. What?
True.
I have gone through and gotten rid of things that do not spark joy. What?
Go on, next point.
Anyway, moving on before Vesta dies. Black Panther is up for 7 Oscars. And honestly, they deserve.
Yep.
Let me see. I know there was some for Best Costume, which, frankly, if they don't get Best Costume, I'm going to be
mad as hell.
Because they did research.
Yep.
Lip plates, the red mud preserving the hair, the patterns, the fabrics, just everything. The fact that Lupita's green dress in Korea was 3D printed for her.
Yep. That dress was
sickening.
Oh.
Like that, everything in that movie just had me like.
My wig.
Just speaking of which.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Speaking of which.
Fucking Okoye and just like I just could not. It's disgraceful. Cannot wait to get this thing off my head.
That thing looked like it itched.
See, the thing is that it looked cute on her though.
It looked like it itched. Smelled like a hair salon. You know what smell I'm talking about.
My mother's a stylist, of course I know. Smell like weave and gossip. Am I? Wait. Weave,
just live
product and gossip.
Just leave. Girl, did you hear?
I'm going home. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Do we need to give you some hold music? Are you good? Are you done? Are you done?
I'm good.
Okay. But yeah, the Black Panther squad, which, sidebar, Ryan Coogler should have gotten a nod for best director, but he'll still, if they take best movie, which they're up against some strong contenders though. Mm-hmm. Like, as much as I love Black Panther, there was a couple in that best film category that are very strong contenders.
What else are there?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I know for a fact Bohemian Rhapsody,
Just haven't seen it. I want to go see it.
which I want to see too, because I already stand down for Rami Malek. All right, Best Picture. We've got Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Green Book, Vice, A Star is Born, Roma.
Okay. Star is Born, Klansman, and Bohemian Rhapsody are... Oof.
Yeah, because Green Book can miss me with its Driving Miss Daisy remix and that mess.
Never heard of it.
Exactly. Anyway, I can't wait. February 24th.
Same.
Get your life. Get a party. And last but definitely not least, um, I'm sorry, Dr. Nadine Burke Harris. Let me put some respect on that name.
Whoop.
Is California's first Surgeon General,
A.
and I have high hopes. Yeah, not the first black woman, not the first woman, not the first black person, just the first. So I'm just over here. I'm waiting to see what she does. I mean, see what she does with your home state.
Yeah.
But we shall see. On that note, I believe that is it for our palate cleanse. Vesta jumps when I say it like that. That is it for our palate cleanse. We're gonna move on to our musical break, which is a song called "Cruise Control" by
Oakland rapper. His name is Peeps.
super fantastic.
Yeah.
So, get your life, and we'll get right back to you.
Hey peeps, you're on cruise control and done forgot how to drive. Hey peeps, you're on cruise control. You gotta watch those eyes. Hey peeps, you're on cruise control. You don't even know your life. Hey peeps, 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 peeps. You're on cruise control. Doing everything that you want, but not what you need. I hate to be the same if I'm wrong. It's like a migraine to the soul. The better pain is to know it's not fun to see, but life must be shown. Life must be shown. Tripping off people and what they looking at, forgetting I'm a star in the world of stars. And when the gravity around us pull together, we be up at odds cause we both lost. I don't trust, I don't care. I ain't got the time to look at the past years of fears. I can't, it ain't clear, it ain't fair. I don't wanna be here, I ain't asked for this shit. I give my last to this shit. You're on cruise control and done forgot how to drive. Hey peeps, you're on cruise control. You gotta watch those eyes. Hey peeps, you're on cruise control. You don't even know your life. Hey peeps, 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 peeps. You're on cruise control. Get in late, you'll lose control.
And welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those sweet tunes.
Sweet Sheenies?
You shudder every time I say it like that, and it gives me such
So
joy.
nasty. Nasty boy.
Nasty. Anyway, before I get stuck into a Janet loop. So, we're moving on to our mental health section. So, as always, we're a couple of loudmouths with some recording equipment. So, please, please, please take what we say with 10,000 pounds of salt. What?
Basic.
Base?
So what are we talking about?
So I was actually thinking about a song, and that's what inspired it.
What fucking song?
10,000 Fists by Disturbed.
Oh, okay.
I
I guess I can accept that.
I could have done 8,675,309 pounds of salt.
The fuck? Wait, what's that a reference to?
Jenny.
Oh.
Anyway, so we're actually going to be kind of talking about venting.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of mine popped up in my inbox a couple days ago. I'll read his vent really quick, or the Cliff Notes version of it, because it was kind of rambly. No shade.
Right.
But in so many words, and this is from Keith, by the way.
Yeah.
So his mom's boyfriend won't take the obviously very sick dog to the vet, and wants Keith to act like a snake charmer to get the dog up and moving when, like, it's about time to send her on that rainbow bridge at this point, because there's just shall we say, soiling everywhere. Thanks to the dog, who lacks the strength to stand, and said boyfriend is just swearing up and down that weed oil is going to fix it.
How that goes.
I'm pretty sure, cannabis derivatives are really good at treating symptoms, not causes.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
the dog can be just stoned out of her mind and still, painting the grass. Let me not. I'm trying not to crack a joke. The dog can be just stoned off her ass all the time and still, leaving mess everywhere because she's obviously very sick. And it's unfair to him. It's unfair to Keith that it's being put on him to try to take care of it when that's not even his dog.
I know, right?
So,
Can it be his first?
all
I
right,
hate to say that, but can it be his dog first?
right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you're gonna have him do all that work with the dog, then it needs to be his dog.
Should be his dog. Like, it's not. It wasn't. Why is he gonna take care of the dog? That's supposed to be your responsibility.
Yeah, my response, and as callous as it sounds, I'm like, she probably needs to cross the Rainbow Bridge because apparently that dog is like witnessed the birth of Christ levels of old.
Oof.
So if her body's failing like that, then it's only a matter of time, and I'd rather just end the suffering
Right.
than keep her stoned off her ass because that's not doing anything but emptying somebody's pocket.
Right.
So, aside from Keith, we've got 2 submissions from people who wanted to talk more about venting and like their experience with it.
Yeah.
So first, we've got Angel.
So the topic is venting. I'm actually kind of an expert at venting. I don't really have a filter, and I am pretty good about going off on people if they've deserved it. And what I mean by that is that if somebody is being obviously racist or sexist or classist, or if there's any way that they're not looking at things from an intersectional lens and thinking about how there's a common class struggle and how we're all fighting the good fight, and we also need to be looking at things that affect other people, things that are going to be offensive. And if somebody's just stepping on toes willy-nilly and not really checking themselves, I am more than happy to play that role, because there's not a person whose contact I've lost that I've really missed because they had toxic beliefs. And I mean, it does definitely ruffle some feathers, and it's caused problems in my work life, in my like social life, in some of the social circles. I've had to actually distance myself from a lot of people who are just not aware and not woke. And it's been healthier for me to realize that I'm better off not associating with those circles than trying to change their worldview. Although I have definitely, by speaking up and making my beliefs known, I have definitely impacted, I hope positively, other people's worldviews.
And now we've got another segment from Andrew.
So I'd like to talk about the way we use our words and how they can change lives. In James chapter 3, verse 9 and 10, it says this. This is James, the brother of Jesus, talking. He says, "When with the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we also curse men who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers, this should not be." What that means is that, and I think especially behind the computer screen, on Facebook, you can do incredible harm and insult people a lot, but you can also encourage people and make their lives better. And I think that one of the goals of venting is to get your thoughts communicated into the real world. However, the downside to that is your biases show as well, and they can cause fights. And I think that if your words cause fights, they are wasted words. And unless it's something worth fighting over, peace is the better way. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Jesus said that. And what that means is that what's on the inside is what you will talk about. and what you love, that's what you'll talk about, and that's what you'll communicate to others.
So both of those are actually pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm not one to quote the Bible very often, if at all. But those are actually very good quotes from it.
And that's the thing. Like, I have my own personal beefs with Christianity and the Bible, etc., 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 and I'm not gonna, promptly defecate all over somebody's beliefs, especially after, they're using, bringing up their beliefs to try to make a salient point. Which the fact of the matter is that point is salient.
Right.
Like, I may be an atheist, but there's still nuggets of wisdom to be found in various bits of the Bible, especially Proverbs.
Oh yeah.
There's also a bunch of misogynistic stuff and stuff about slavery, but we're not going to go into that too much.
Nope.
But my thing is, I don't know. Especially towards the end of a relationship, I have this bad habit of just going on and on and on about it.
Right.
And that, I feel like that's kind of the line of demarcation between actual venting, which can be extremely therapeutic and cathartic, and dumping your stuff on your friends. And I feel like a lot of it, or a big portion of it, is being cognizant of how that person is doing.
Right.
I wish I had the exact wording of the post saved on hand, but there was a Facebook post that said that, people who ask their friends before venting are some of the best people, because sometimes the ventee, no latte, what?
Go on.
The ventee may not have the energy to actually listen and have counterpoints and stuff for the venter.
Right. Exactly.
And that's something that's something that I feel like that I had to learn recently, or not recently, but just over the course of time. Just that I had to learn about. Should I talk to them about this? Have I talked to them before about this? Is this something that I need to continue to go on and on and on about? Do I need to tell my therapist about this? Because if some bitch tries me at work, I'm probably gonna pull one of my roommates aside and be like,
So guess what?
This bitch did?
Yeah.
Had the nerve to try to tell me what to do, and I got more than 2 months of seniority over that bitch. Like, what the? Anyway.
You done brought the real life into this.
Oh no, I'm dead serious. I've genuinely pulled one of my roommates aside and be like, so this shit happened at work, and I'm about ready to cut somebody.
No, I mean just that story. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it hasn't happened as much nearly, but that bitch likes to try me. And at this point, if I get tried again, I may forget to put my filter on.
Oh.
And I dare something to happen. Really, I do.
Let's not to that octave. We're not at the Steven Universe section yet. Ew, stop.
Anyway, so what is your experience with venting?
I have always been the ventee. I have people vent to me about a lot of things. And I feel like that's sort of just like the curse of being a good listener. Because I'm down to help people with, whatever they want to talk about. Because I've been asked for advice as well, but a lot of people just want someone to listen. And it's sort of kind of, it's a way to sort of just see multiple perspectives on like a similar issue sometimes. Because a lot of people will have the same issue and talk to you about it in a whole different way. And you sort of get different outlooks on how people may think or, similarly or very differently and things like that. But I vent to people sometimes, but it's very few people that I do that to. Because it's a matter of understanding if that person can be actually be there to listen to you. If they can't, don't do it anyway. Which is really just like the line that differentiates venting and
Dumping.
Yeah, it's like does that person want to?
Is that person
can that person Even like, if you gotta understand that if you don't know, you do it anyway. You're dumping on people, and sometimes people just aren't in the right mindset to like deal. And then
Right, and more often than not, because I've been the ventee on a couple of occasions when I couldn't handle it.
yes,
But but I'm sometimes I just can't say no,
that's true. I have that problem.
so I'll let them vent and try my best to stay checked in.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have the energy, then I don't have the energy.
Right.
And I know that that's going to be part of I feel like that's going to be part of my resolution this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because my resolution last year, much like last year, is still do no harm, take no shit.
Right.
But this time focusing more on that take no shit side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, and that includes, actually setting healthy boundaries with some of my friends, like saying, I want to hear you out on this, but I'm not going to be able to give you the response and the attention that you deserve for this.
Right. Cause yeah. That's just a boundary that people need to work on trying to understand and like figure out how to navigate.
I mean, honestly, setting boundaries and communicating is just something huge that I feel like more people need to discuss and learn how to set in general. I feel like it's something that needs to be more prominent.
I agree.
Then again, that probably would have resulted in the movie Yes Man not happening, which had me on the floor a couple of times.
Yes Man's a good movie.
But the idea of setting boundaries in relationships, be they romantic, be they platonic, be they professional even, like, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to end friendships.
Yup.
Like it how this went from venting to communicating.
Because it's this. They go
I mean,
hand in
truth be
hand.
told, venting is a kind of communicating.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Same thing. It's just a matter of the difference between venting and dumping. It's understanding people's boundaries, communicating them,
Mm-hmm.
and then being able to even talk about your feelings is another thing. Because a lot of people I know need to vent. People kind of underestimate.
The catharsis.
Yeah, like just having someone listen to you.
Sidebar, I love that word.
Catharsis.
Catharsis.
But I agree. But
Let the catharsis take you.
just that one video from or that one picture. What's that show where like someone's holding a fork of food up to that one girl? She's just like has her head back. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's in memes. I just don't know what the show is actually called.
Is it a show or was it a movie?
That was a show.
Then I don't know.
Okay, lit. But
That's gonna bug me.
I know it's gonna bug the shit out of me. We'll figure it out.
Eventually. I don't know. I feel like I said, we've been trying to make our mental health segments a bit more lighthearted as of late.
Yeah.
Cause
It's rough out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough out here with the fucking what's the chemical that like what is the chemical that like causes happiness in the brain? Serotonin?
Serotonin?
Is it serotonin?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, the lack of serotonin in these parts.
Serotonin.
Oh.
Well, I ain't heard of that in years.
Oh my stop.
What?
Stop.
I've been seeing nothing but stuff about Red Dead Redemption 2, aka
Rudy Tooty Cowboy Shooty. Bang bang. There goes your horse.
But no, it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been pretty rough. We've been I just want to fast forward to not frozen death because I ain't ready. Yeah, when this episode drops, we will have attempted to survive Wednesday.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? What is it, negative fucking a million?
The forecast, as it stands at time of recording, is, once it comes up, the high for Wednesday is expected to be negative 15 degrees.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, it just updated. -13.
Oh, great.
2 entire degrees.
Man.
It'll be damn near balmy. I'll have to break out.
I hate it.
I'll have to break out the swim trunks and the beach gear.
Like, need to bring my suntan lotion to the beach. Fuck, I just knocked everything over.
Oh no. Are you okay?
That was terrible. That caught me off guard. Balmy.
Regardless.
But yeah,
do we have any further commentary?
learn to communicate even when you don't think. No, learn to communicate even though it's a fear it's a thing you gotta keep doing.
Something I am still working on.
You gotta learn how to do it. Even if sometimes it's something, if it's an issue, you gotta, if it's something that they don't want to hear, and it's something you don't want to say, but it needs to be said or heard, you gotta do it.
That said, don't intentionally hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, don't just go out here and just be like, you're a bitch.
Like, because like something my ex and I started to work on doing, because we were really trying to work on communication at a couple of points. But something that we got in the habit of doing is before communicating something that might be potentially, jarring, I guess would be a good word for it. Mm-hmm. We would always do I don't want to sound like blank. I don't mean this to be blank. Not trying to get on your ass about this, that, or the other. Mm-hmm. But... and then go on to say what was said, because that couches it in saying, "Hey, I'm bringing something up that's been bothering me, and on one hand, it needs to be addressed. On the other, don't get in your feelings. Get out your feelings, ho. Get out your feelings." What?
But yeah, venting and communication go hand in hand. That's why it kind of went from one thing to another.
Yeah, hooray, segues. Anyway. So, thanks again to Keith, Angel, and Andy for submitting. If you would like to submit anything, we'll be posting more on our Facebook group for material suggestions.
Inquiries.
Yes.
Inquiries.
If you'd like to respond to any of our inquiries via our Facebook page, please shoot us an email or a direct message. But please shoot us an email at askthebkcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You did not have to do that.
I did. Yes, I did.
Face, my God. Anyway, so, don't make that face with me. All right. So we're going to be moving on to our second musical break, which this is one of your tracks.
It's actually insiders stuff about this song. This is like 4 years old.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so we get to hear some vintage Vesta.
Oh, yeah.
I had more V words and I just lost them. Anyway, so this next track is called Side Street.
Yeah.
By our very own Vesta. So get your life and we'll be back. And welcome back. So, I have been waiting. We are back with our nerd section, and the Steven Universe special finally happened.
It's over now. I should actually say it's over, isn't it?
It's over, isn't it?
There was Change Your Mind, the last episode in Diamond Days, which is also called Battle of Heart and Mind. Question mark.
Hang on. So our nerd section for this time around is probably going to be completely dedicated to Steven Universe because
My wig.
Yeah.
So if you would like to avoid Steven Universe spoilers, now would be the time to skip to the end.
Yeah.
So
where do we even start?
So do we want to gag about
So to catch y'all up, because we didn't talk about this episode very much, escapism was just Steven calling for help. The watermelon Stevens sort of
I actually didn't watch
made a
that.
cameo. Oh, it was actually just about the watermelon island, and it showed you what happened after Jasper or Malachite and Alexandria came and fucked shit up. And it was actually like, now that I think about it, it was a lot of foreshadowing to the next episode. It was all kinds of foreshadowing.
Okay, so clearly I need to actually watch that episode
Yeah.
because I actually forgot it was a thing.
The new song was good.
From that episode?
Yeah.
Oh.
Escapism was a song. Y'all, people complaining that episode was overhyped. Rebecca and the Cooterers never hyped that episode up. You guys did, so you overhyped.
You played yourself.
Yeah, you played yourself. Leave it alone. It's a good episode. So it starts off with Steven going to sleep, using his powers to go to Earth and try and figure out a way to talk to his family that's on Earth still to send help. And he does so as a watermelon, gets back, after a lot of adventure, gets back to the island, back to Beach City, communicates to Bismuth and Greg and Lion that they need help. And he manages to do so right as watermelon, he kind of fades out. He wakes back up at the end of the episode in the jail cell, and he just goes, well, time to see what happens. Episode ends. That's escapism. So, okay. Battle of Heart, Change Your Mind picks up right after that.
Can we just call the whole thing Battle of Heart and Mind?
And Change Your Mind is the episode.
The whole hour-long thing is called Change Your Mind?
Change Your Mind.
Okay.
Well, that's why the name is confusing. But Change Your Mind picks up, and I can't even go into summary. So much shit happens. That's the last time Steven does as a flashback of Pink Diamond, which really reveals that that's not the first time Pink has been just locked into a jail cell for doing some shit for who knows how long.
Yeah, because casual reminder that they're effectively immortal.
Right. So who knows how long that Pink has ever been locked in there, but
like I don't think they don't die unless they're shattered.
Yeah. Blue has a scene where she finally realizes because of Steven. I love that. She was like, "You're not coming out until you apologize for refusing." Steven's just like, "No," and she's like shook. She's so angry. But that brings up a thing. You don't have to apologize for doing shit you like to do, the shit that makes you happy. Steven was like, "Bitch, apologize for who? Not I." But he finally she realizes that she has been in the wrong. Her yellow and white have been in the wrong. Well, her and yellow have been in the wrong.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. And she realizes that's why Pink left. Like, Pink was never happy. And that's why she wanted to run. And she realized she was part of the problem. So then she is effectively sided with Steven and by extension, the Crystal Gems. She gets Steven and Connie. We're going to go get because the gems that were poofed in Together Alone.
Oh, Together Alone, yeah.
Are bubbled up somewhere. She's like, we'll go get your friends. They go back to Pink's tower, they change clothes, say goodbye to the Pebbles, eat food and drink water. And
the Pebbles are so damn cute.
Oh, no, I love the Pebbles. And Blue takes them to Yellow's fucking Fortress of Doom. And oh my god. When the lights came on and you see, first of all, Yellow's just got bubbled force gem fusions just in her throne room. Like, that's really
I didn't notice
fucked
that.
up. That's really, like, it's like one of the first things you see is that there's just a bunch of gem shards fused together in bubbles. So this experiment thing for like the cluster has been going on for a very long time. And it's really fucked up that she just has them in her room. And then you see the bubble with garnet, amethyst, and pearl in it. And then you hear, what are you doing? And you just see Yellow sitting there like a black mama at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Waiting on you to get home.
And I was like, oh.
Flashbacks.
Oh, man. And then Steven's like, we're coming to get our friends. And then
sitting there like Beyonce in that one picture. Nice of you to come home.
I know, right? And then she ignores Steve and said, we're coming to get our friends. And then Yellow's like, what are you doing, Blue? And I forget.
Blue basically tries to
Blue is just like, I forget what she says. And then Yellow's like, take them back to the tower. Take Pink back to her tower. And then Blue finally goes, she prefers to be called Steven, which is very wholesome, until Yellow smashes her throne, or the armrest of her throne, and gets livid. And Yellow's like, you're not going to bend the rules for Pink. Put it back in the tower. Blue's like, I'm not. Absolutely the fuck not. Yellow's like, I'm going to. And then Blue smacks her hand. And then she's like, Blue? And then Blue uses her powers on Yellow. And then it just becomes like a whole
fight back
fucking
and forth.
thing. But the part that got me was when they're kind of like at a standstill. And then Yellow is like, when Pink was shattered and no one else would listen to you, I was there for you, and you're going to attack me? That actually really got me. Because I feel that. Like, the amount of betrayal that Yellow probably felt in that moment is so, like... Real. And then they fight, and again, Steven gets through to Yellow that... what is Blue? Blue tries to get Yellow to understand, and because Yellow is so adamant at like impressing White and following the rules, she starts to fucking electrocute Blue.
Yeah, and it looks like Blue is getting ready to poof.
Right. And then Steven tells her to stop. He throws his shield, stops her from attacking, and finally convinces her that this shit that they've been doing for eons is not perfect and it's flawed. And that it's wrong, and it's the reason why Pink left.
Which effectively breaks Yellow, and she's like,
Blue,
stop using your powers on me.
I'm not. And then she just starts crying. That was a really good scene. So then at that point, then Yellow is finally like, okay, we'll get you guys back home. And then her and Blue take Steven and Connie and the gems to the ship. And they're like, okay, it's time to go. And then a white bubble pops up. White Pearl said, you're not going anywhere. I was like, oh no. And then White ship leaves its spot that it's been sitting in since the trial and
plants itself on top of Pink's legs.
Of the ship so they can't get in. And it cuts to, I hate that it cuts to commercial right there. The commercial breaks in this episode stressed me out.
Yeah, especially because where I was watching, I just kept getting fucking knockoff Visine commercials.
What else was really fucked about that?
White's eyes opening.
Her ship has eyes. Oh, I hate them. And the sound they make when they open and then they look down.
That was a really uncomfortable noise.
It's just really creepy. That White's just... I hate her ship.
Long story let's fast forward a little bit, though, to the part where I was gagging.
Yeah.
Because it's a bunch of turmoil, a bunch of drama, a bunch of them trying to distract White and so on and so forth, while Steven pleads with the gems to come back.
Yes. And then out of the sky comes Bismuth in both blue and yellow ships, which I called. I figured that was what's going to happen. Like, Bismuth was going to fix the ships and fly on the homeworld.
Yellow and blue, for the record, yellow and blue ships are arms.
And
so this Voltron-ass whole thing.
You get to see Peridot and Lapis's new forms, which are amazing.
Kamina Peridot!
I hate that. It's so accurate.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would know what I was talking about.
It's hella accurate, but I love Peridot's glasses. Someone pointed out that she basically just kind of paid attention to how the gems dressed and copied a lot of their old form stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Kamina Peridot. I wanted to make sure that the visor was right.
That starts the whole fight where Blue and Yellow get their arms to attach to the ship and take control, and Steven controls Pink's legs, and then they get up to like where White is forced to be looking at them like they're in.
And then they start pleading with her.
And it gets like this sentimental shit, like it's been stressful, we're miserable, and da 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 da.
I honestly
Please
thought Yellow
listen
was
to
gonna
us.
break.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds like she was. And then they get to everything, and
then White
and
was
then
like,
White's like, don't
and
care.
hypnosis beam.
And that's when you realize that, like, that scene makes you realize, oh shit, so she is possessing people. White Pearl is literally her, which explains White Pearl has seen everything, which is probably why she's so pissed at Pink.
But she white beams both yellow and
they,
blue.
Then they take the pose that White Pearl's been in this whole time, and then go into the ship, and now they've lost control of the ship. What else happens?
Steven and the gems end up getting knocked off.
Yes, knocked
and
off
they're
the thing.
falling, and while they're falling, Steven's like, please come back, please come back, please come back, and ends up fusing with Amethyst.
With the gem, like just the gem, not her.
And then unfusing, and oh my god, that brought them back.
Yeah.
And then dives down, grabs Pearl.
And then fuses with Pearl. And I'm like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? And then Mary Poppins, the sequel.
Rainbow Quartz 2.0 pops up.
Oh, I love
being
him
non-binary and fantastic.
So much. Oh, I love them / him. That's the thing that Rebecca mentioned. Well, I love them so much.
So basically, Rainbow Quartz 2.0 is like
Mary Poppins and Doctor Who.
I mean, there's the running headcanon that Mary Poppins is a Gallifreyan, but
yes.
or is a Time Lord.
Yes.
But Rainbow Quartz ends up using an umbrella, riding it like a witch's broom, and leaving a rainbow trail behind him.
I love Rainbow Quartz.
Which, I mean, that makes sense
so
given
much.
that Pearl's weapon is a spear and Steven's is a shield. Ends up catching Ruby and Sapphire.
And they get to the ground, so everybody's with them, and then it's like, Garnet's the last one to fuse. Again, annoying commercial break, they fuse, and then Pink steps on them, and it's like, cut to black. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers.
And then the foot ends up, after the commercial break, which I was stressed out the entire time while they were trying to pitch Visine at me, lifts up the foot and reveals
oh, yeah,
Sunstone.
Oh, my God.
Who is a walking PBS special.
Just
like,
New
broke
York
the fourth
everywhere.
wall. Bork the fourth wall.
Bork. Heck, sniff.
Breaks the fourth wall, looks right into the camera, and says something along the lines of, "If you ever experience bullying, take it to an adult."
I was like, I live for this. You better step off. I live for that line. It's like my favorite.
And the thing is, when Sunstone started to form, you started to see the head silhouette looked unnerving. No. The head silhouette at first, and we can pause and pull it up if you want to, but that head silhouette at first had the same shape as White Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It had those same 5 points at that same angle.
Yeah, because Steven's hair has 5 points.
It does? It does.
Yeah, Steven's hair, Pink's hair, and they all have 5 points.
Pink's has way more than 5 points.
It's 5 bumps. We can argue about this later. But she has 5 points. Then White manages to knock off Sunstone and the gang, and then it unfuses Steven and Garnet. And then it's like, we're not big. We need to be bigger. Steven goes, we all need to fuse then. And then Garnet's like, it's decided.
It's time to form Obsidian.
I screamed so loud because I knew for so long that fusion was going to be Obsidian. I knew it. And then they formed.
And my wig.
Music came. And it's just such a build-up. And then you finally see her.
And
my wig.
Every wig that was snatched in this episode, in this series, was collected to make Obsidian's lace front.
Obsidian starts forming, and you see a bunch of arms flying.
This
was like a synchronized swimming routine or something. They just float one way and flow the other way, and then Obsidian appears serving Black Widow realness, and I'm every kind of here for it. And I mean the spider,
it was
not
like
the Marvel
lava. The lava highlights.
You know what someone else said? That Obsidian was serving Tekka vibes from Moana.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's very true. Very much Tekka vibes. Oh, and then the music. Avi and Surashu, the composers of this show's music. If y'all don't release Obsidian's fucking music, I will fight you. That is some of the best music I've heard in this entire show. Was Obsidian's music. That was amazing.
And so they start climbing up, and then Connie is flying.
Cuts off Yellow's and Blue's arms.
Which, sidebar, that was adorable how they were flying, because Lapis was helping Bismuth fly around, and then Peridot was
floating on the trash can lid.
Yeah, and Connie was holding onto the handle of the trash can lid.
I live for that.
And Bismuth gave Connie her own sword.
Yeah,
Bismuth.
So cute. Yeah, Bismuth forged the sword that we've been seeing in the teaser picture this whole time.
Sidebar, as rewinding a little bit, can we talk about their new outfits though?
Oh, I live. Amethyst. I mean, Amethyst outfits are always just top tier. Fashion Nova and Forever 21 could never.
Her outfits, they change, but they don't change a lot.
Yeah, and I like that. Garnet's glasses.
Garnet's
visor is. I need that. And then Pearl's just
80s
full on
jacket.
lesbian mom.
You know what that was really reminiscent of? Remember that jacket that she got when she was trying to impress that girl?
Yeah, that's literally what that was. And someone mentioned.
Sidebar: I want to see more of her.
You remember Matt? For people who he was on the last episode, Matt said that was very like 80s Dynasty shoulder pad jacket, and I was upset because it's very accurate because those are some thick ass shoulder pads.
Dynasty have an attitude.
So then, Obsidian, the way that weapon is formed is amazing. All 4 weapons fuse together to make the handle, like the base of the sword.
Yeah.
And then,
which, by the way, had been teased since the beginning of the series.
Yeah, back in Bubble Buddies, you can see the sword in the ocean, and then again when the ocean is gone, when Lapis takes it to try and go back to Homeworld.
But the fact that sword appeared,
the base is formed out of the 4 weapons, and
then Obsidian's top mouth opens,
and forges like a heat.
My wig.
Just, oh my god. Obsidian.
Top mouth opens, shoves the hilt in, and pulls out just a whole ass
just
lava
a
sword.
whole sword.
And just
Sephiroth, who? Clouds where?
And cleaves Yellow and Blue's ships just like a hot knife through butter.
Gone.
Done.
And gets up, sticks it into White's ship and jumps up off of the sword. And White tries to. Well, she does infuse them, but they're
they keep going.
Yeah, they keep going. They get into White's ship, and then you get to the scariest fucking bitch in the
Before we
show.
get to that, though, we should mention the whole kind of redemption mini clip where they all 3 of the other gems land gracefully, and the first time this happened, Steven falls flat on his face.
So back when they went to the temple to figure out what was going on, I think it was the whole thing was like a training thing for Steven.
Yeah, it was like season 1.
Yeah, and it goes Garnet, Pearl, Amethyst, Steven. They land that way. Garnet, the first 3 land perfectly. Steven just flops on his stomach. The same animation is used when they get into White's ship through the eye. Except Steven lands this time.
And that is
amazing. Growth. That is amazing. But then we get to White.
Oh my god, that whole sequence was so fucking creepy.
I've been quoting her lines just in my head back and forth because Christina Ebersole ate that role up from the second she showed up. But then this, she took it to a whole nother level.
You got to give Zach Callison his props.
Oh, he did it. They all did amazing for whether if there was a line or 2 or a whole speech like White. They all did spectacular.
White's whole speech shook.
But when you first see her, you finally see her not drawn in the background style. She's drawn like a normal character now, with Yellow and Blue at her side, mimicking her and speaking.
They're all speaking at the same time with her voice, and it's creepy because White Pearl's doing it too.
Oh, well, Starlight, what are you doing crawling in here? You want your legs back? You want your planet back? Surely you can understand why I can't let you leave. Just look what you did to yourself last time.
No, can we not? Because my skin is crawling.
Oof. When she said that,
it was such a patronizing parent.
It
sounded like a patronizing parent taking pity on a kid that didn't know any better.
And then Steven tries to talk. White interrupts him with White Pearl like a fucking knife. Just jumps where he's standing. She's like, my. We've been causing quite a scene, haven't we? She did so good. I live for. I've been watching that scene over and over.
And then after a while, she I'm just calling it the white beam.
Yeah, she white beams
the crystal gems.
Again, her lines make her like she goes on this spiel about how even yellow and blue, who are seen as like perfect gems by everyone, are flawed to her. Like yellow, her imperfections drown out all the warmth in her color. She's super strong, but she's got a weakness for blue. Blue's imperfections cause her to be blue, and it drowns out all the warmth in her system. Like they actually brought like scientific facts into this to explain why that's the way they are. And white sees herself as the end all be all of perfection
because she has all the colors of the rainbow in her spectrum.
Yeah, and that whole thing happens. What else? Oh, but the line before she zaps the crystal gems with the fucking
white beam.
Amethyst is like, what the fuck is she talking about? She's like, oh, your friends are so funny. Is that what they're supposed to be? Funny. Zaps every last one of them. Just with no restraint. She doesn't give a fuck. They're all
they all take that pose.
They all take the pose. They all start talking through her, and she's like, oh, you Pink that you
wait, didn't Peridot end up flying in too, or did no Connie got herself in.
Yeah, Connie got herself in.
And White
Kudos
Pearl
to her. Got herself into the ship on her own.
White Pearl ultimately ends up like grabbing her in a chokehold and holding her.
No, that's regular. That's our Pearl. Yeah, she fights with the spear. That's our Pearl.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Who is probably the original White Pearl, but that's a theory for later.
We'll get into that.
And then they all, like, White goes on this spiel about how Pink always makes things bad, and White always has to repress her because she's a part of her. And she does all this mind, like, very, toxic.
There's enough gaslighting to cancel out. There's enough gaslighting to cancel out fucking Winter.
Literally. Like, all this bullshit.
About how you surround yourself with all these imperfect gems.
Because you want to be the best of the worst. Oh, that was the most fucked up line. And she looked so happy with herself when she said that.
Like, my mouth was agape the entire time.
Yeah, because White was like, this is how I felt about you this whole time.
Like, red Pink into and under the ground.
Right.
Or try to.
Then you get to, Connie tries to jump in. She gets subdued by everybody, and then...
Let's say Crystal Pearl versus White Pearl, just for future reference.
Yeah.
Crystal Pearl grabs Connie and covers her mouth.
And then... What does Pink fucking say? I don't remember, but Pink is starting to like, you see what you do, you accept.
You mean White, not Pink?
I'm sorry, yeah, White says that. White says like, you encourage deficiencies.
And look, you brought a pet.
Oh, yeah,
referring to Connie.
Yeah, that's another one of your pets. And then she starts to get into Steven's head. And then she's like, he's like, I didn't do any of this stuff. I'm just, you're talking about my mom. I didn't do this. And then she goes, but don't you know things about her that you shouldn't know? And then you start seeing all the flashbacks he's had, and he's like conflicted with himself. Like, what does this mean?
This is textbook gaslighting.
Literally. And then Connie's like, don't listen to her. Da-da-da. And then White goes to grab him, picks him up, and then he grabs, like, Yzma faces at him.
Gets right up in.
And she's like, now, Starlight, this has gone on long enough. Lifts his shirt up and pulls out his gem.
And it's
commercial break.
It's such a tense moment because it's like
you don't know what's gonna happen
because Connie's like no, and you see, hang on. White uses her perfect manicure though.
Them long ass fucking
like the fucking the perfect witch tip nails, and gets down into that gem and pulls it out, and it's just so slow and agonizing. I'm like,
so someone actually lit that scene up because it's in shadow. The scene is in shadow.
It's not silhouetted.
Silhouetted. That's what I mean. No, because you can see Steven in pain when she's pulling the gem out. You can see they animated his face and everything. It's just silhouetted out.
You mean shadowed?
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I thought it was silhouette of just black. So clearly I need to rewatch that section and turn my brightness way up.
No, it's something you got to do. Like, you got to take a screenshot, like, brighten it up, and you can see it. But someone did it on Tumblr, and you could see it.
Oh, God. Okay, first of all, Rebecca, girl. I thought this was a kid's show. And then you see the pink gem.
It's half and half. That was this scene is very important to describe in detail. It starts up split in half.
Wait. After the commercial break,
Yeah.
that stressed everybody out.
Stressed me entirely out. My hair, 17 more gray hairs. Half the screen is black, and you see Steven, like Connie's holding Steven, and it's only half the screen, and he's like, "What happened to my gem?" And then he looks up to see the white holding pink diamond, and when the gem starts to form, the other half of the screen turns white. It goes pink diamond, and then it turns to rose, and you're like, "Holy shit, what's gonna happen?" And then it turns to Steven. And then, in the other perspective, you just see white, completely fucking confused.
Flabbergasted.
And the pink Steven goes down and just looks at regular Steven, and everybody's just shook into silence.
And starts walking.
Yeah, Steven starts to walk toward pink Steven, and
Other way around.
No,
regular
Steven first.
Regular Steven couldn't walk. Regular Steven was too weak to walk.
No, so it's him. He starts to walk first, and then he falls.
Oh, right.
And then she goes, Steven, and then pink Steven's like, looks up. Mind you, pink Steven's blank-faced.
Like, completely deadpan.
Yeah. And then White's like, what does she fucking say? She's like, what is this?
No. Before this, I forget what the exact exchange was, but she tries to white beam him.
This? Oh, no. She goes like, what is this? Where's Pink? She's gone. What did you say?
Answer me.
She's gone.
This Dragon Ball Z ass Dragon Ball Z ass bit where Pink Steven
ground breaks.
Like, you see this ball of power just erupt under Pink Steven. Keep in mind, he's still floating about 1.5 feet in the air under this immediate crater of explosion, and the shout from Pink Steven.
White diamond shake, like stumble.
No, more than that, like breaks the floor
breaks
under
the
her. She
platform.
falls over.
Stakes. She doesn't fall over yet.
She doesn't?
No, not yet. Like she just stumbles, and then like so do all the other gems
because
in the room.
So literally everybody was shook.
Literally. And then they start walking toward each other, and then White's like, don't take another step. Pink Steven keeps walking. She tries to white beam him. Pink Steven just has a shield up, and it's just like, okay.
And keep in mind, this shield, normally Steven has like the rose quartz shield.
But this is like a geometric.
But yeah, this is all like geometric and angular and strange.
Angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Rose's shield anymore.
Oh, nor is it Steven's bubble.
Right. And so then she tries to do it again, and he's got a full shield.
Hang on, blocks it again.
Yeah.
And then
she gets pissed.
And has everybody try to wipe
she's like, I'm just trying to get you to be yourself. If you're not going to do it, I'll do it for you. And every gem, this is a really interesting thing. Like every gem has her power when they're possessed by her, and they all shoot a white beam out of their eyes. And White Steven blocks all of it, shoots it back at them, then they all fall.
Don't they all turn back to themselves after that?
Not yet.
Okay. But it continues walking towards regular Steven.
And Connie's carrying regular Steven at this point because he's too weak to even do anything.
It was like, the way Steven looked in that had me concerned because he was
pale.
He was pale. He had bags under his eyes, couldn't talk fully.
And then Connie
hands him to Pink Steven.
And then this following scene was animated by James Baxter, who is known for animating Rafiki from Lion King.
A Sunday on a squished banana, anyway.
Quasimodo, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and a lot of the characters in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So it was like
top tier, 60 FPS. And Steven starts crying and hugging Pink Steven, and then Pink Steven smiles, and they start spinning.
And this is the first time that Pink Steven shows any kind of emotion.
And then they start spinning and laughing, and the point that I want to bring up, it like pans to show like White lift her head up and look at them again in 60 FPS. And regular Steven is dancing on Pink Steven's feet.
So
when they're
effectively,
spinning.
Wait, what? Hang on, I need to pull up that GIF. Wait, what?
Yes, bitch. Regular Steven, when they like have their hands out and they're dancing, Steven's got his feet on top of Pink Steven's feet, like parent and child.
Like parent and... Oh my God, you're right.
Which effectively makes you realize that scene is the first time Steven got to see his mother. Ever. That is the first time they ever got to see each other.
And then
so although she says Pink is gone, or Pink Steven says Pink is gone, That's right.
But at the
Because
same time,
Rose said back in the tape, she literally told everybody what happened to her. She's half of Steven. She told Steven, anytime you feel joy and happiness, that's going to be me, and I'm going to feel it with you.
it's going to be me loving you and loving being you.
She literally said what she did, and that was the first time they ever got to see each other.
I never oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I've got to
That's why that scene made me start crying.
I'm okay. So I'm
literally, bitch. I'm like, I can feel them coming too. That's the first time they got to see each other.
I never noticed that detail.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this show.
That's the first time they got to see each other, and it made me so upset. Because Steven has been looking for her, trying to talk to her this whole time, and she's literally been there the whole time. The whole time.
So I'm booking a flight. I'm booking a flight to go yell at Rebecca Sugar. Because first of all, how dare you activate my feels like this?
And then they fuse together.
And they spin progressively faster right under Pink's skies.
Becomes yellow.
Back to
yeah, in front of White's eyes.
Thank you. I'm
shaking. And it's back to Steven. White gets mad. And she's like, you're not supposed to look like this. You're Pink Diamond. This Pink Diamond. And you're just acting like a child. Steven goes, I am a child. What's your excuse? Which, the pilot episode of this show, which I have to show you, he makes that joke, and that ends up saving the crystal gems. So they literally lifted a joke from the very first episode of the show ever and used it again at the end of like the 5th season at the biggest arc. I have to show it to you, but it's the same joke. He makes it to Garnet.
I'm a child. What's your excuse?
Mm-hmm.
Because White is throwing a full-fledged... this is like a presidential tantrum.
And then White turns pink and blushes. And so does everybody, and so does her ship. And then she realizes she has a flaw. And then that's sort of just kind of the redemption. This leads to the redemption of White. Because she's starting to lose control over herself and everybody else. She just loses control, and everything's pink, and everybody's back to normal. Yellow and blue, the crystal gems, and White just kind of...
Including Pink Pearl.
Yes, including White Pearl, who was confirmed a couple episodes ago to be Pink Pearl.
Who got fully confirmed at this, because White's control over Pink Pearl stopped.
Yeah, and she was actually Pink Pearl, and Pink Pearl's like, where am I? What happened? So that really makes me wonder what happened to her.
And wondering how long Pink Pearl had been white beamed. And I still want to know. So there's still a bunch of questions left.
There's a lot. They answer a lot. Yeah, like.
No, there's still questions. Like,
no, I mean, they answer a lot.
Why was Pink Pearl cracked?
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened.
What convinced White Diamond that she had to be so perfect and emotionless?
Which leads to
the movie. Wait, but before we get into talking about the movie, can we bring up the end?
Yeah, they all go to Earth. Steven brings the diamonds to Earth. Lars and the off-colors make it to Earth at the same time.
Which cracks a hilarious joke with Pat Paracha and everybody.
Yeah.
Because they land and one of the off-colors exits, and it's like, no, we're far away from
diamonds! And then they look up and they're all just
literally all 3 diamonds, well, all 3 big diamonds are just like, thup.
And then she's like, we're cracked. Steven introduces them, and I just like Christine's delivery. She's like, hello.
Just like
so
uncomfortable. Like this just sounds like a 90-year-old grandma meeting their or 90-year-old grandma meeting her very strange grandchild.
Just hello.
Like, I'm trying to be polite. But
again, Christine ate that up, and you were a queen for that. Then they realize
they interrupt Sadie's concert, by the way.
And then Sadie's like, they want an encore. Steven sings a new version of We Are the Crystal Gems, which has been released on Spotify, mind you.
I've listened to it.
Oh, so good. They get all the bubble gems, put them into Rose's fountain, get the diamonds to sit in Rose's fountain, put all the bubble gems in the water, and it heals all of them. It doesn't heal them completely because Rebecca brought this up. Or Rebecca and Ian. Yeah, that the trauma, that's a metaphor because trauma never fully goes away. Like, even when you're healed from it, There's still remnants of it.
There's still scars.
Yeah, so they all still...
Jasper being one of the biggest examples of this, because Jasper pops up and she's still got greenish flecks on her.
Yeah, and like little spikes and things on her. But they all get healed. Every corrupted gem is healed.
back to sentience.
Yeah. And you see Nephrite with all the other Nephrites. You see Biggs that Bismuth made a reference to. Who else? You just see everybody. And you see Garnet and Pearl crying because it's something they've been trying to do is finished now. And you see White, Yellow, and Blue like being happy again, like Blue always wanted. And then they go back to Homeworld. The Three Diamonds, they just get in their ships and go back to Homeworld. And it ends with Steven singing a song called Change Your Mind.
Which I think they're still kind of working on, which is why you just heard the bare bones.
No, that's it.
That's it. You sure?
So what Rebecca said was that song was never written for the show. She wrote that on her own when she was fighting, apparently having to fight to have the wedding even a thing, like allowed into the show. And she wrote the song to sort of just like channel her frustrations. And someone heard it and they're like, you need to put this in the show. Because when you think about the lyrics in that context, it makes sense. Like, but that song that's one of my favorites, just Change Your Mind, even though it's really short.
It's less than a minute long.
But that's how it ends. And then at the end of this, it shows you the trailer for the movie.
You mean the teaser?
Yeah, teaser, sorry. For the movie.
Which is just a reddish, heart-shaped gem spinning.
And it shows Steven, and then Garnet, and then Amethyst, and then Pearl. And
then a mystery silhouette.
With a pink heartstone gem
in the chest.
On her chest. And then it just says, Steven Universe, the movie, coming this fall.
Yeah, but honestly...
There's confirmed to be a 6th season and the movie. That was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Honestly... And I didn't get a chance to really gag about this because none of my friends are either caught up or into the show.
But now you know how I feel. Or how I felt before. Having to catch your ass up.
Well, now I'm caught up? No, but like...
But yeah, it is like...
This is, honestly, like, a lot of this feels like a lot... There's so much analogies that can be drawn for trans people with this.
Yes, absolutely. The biggest story with that is Rose and Pink.
Rose, Pink, and Steven.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like the biggest metaphor for me. Is just like,
because Blue and Yellow started to catch on to the he, him, and Steven instead of still calling him
her
and saying Pink.
Yeah, and her.
And White was the last one with it, and Pure Pink Steven was just had enough and literally cracked stuff yelling at her. And sometimes you have to get that extreme to get somebody to recognize your identity.
Yeah. I really liked that scene because, first of all, Zach Callison, that is the most raw, angry scream.
Like, you could hear some edge in his voice at the end of it.
Anything in this show was this, she's gone. Was, because I take that, now that it's, you see, like, that little detail in that scene of them dancing is why I say that is Rose and it is Pink, because it is. She's just Steven now. That context of why the Pink Steven was so angry was because Rose, I'm just gonna refer to her as Rose. Rose knew. Rose was there for everything Steven had been through. So, like, a lot of those tears and emotions were probably stemmed from Rose, but Steven also felt them. You get what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Like, Rose also was experiencing what Steven was experiencing. So she had to watch him deal with Bismuth again. She had to watch the shit with Lapis. She had to see Lion. She had to watch the Diamonds come after Steven while, and like persecute him for something that she feels like she's not in the wrong for. And then when you get to the point that she's able to, she kind of is there on her own, that's a mom and her child at the end of all this. You don't fuck with a mom's child, ever. So at that point, when Pink Steven screamed at White that Pink Diamond was gone, that was pent-up frustration from how White and Blue and Yellow had been treating her all this time and continued to treat her even after she was gone. Like,
that I wish we had the audio for that She's Gone, because like
Y'all can just look up She's Gone Steven Universe, and there's millions of videos of
yeah,
just
you're gonna
that
have to
segment.
do some searching, because some of it is just bass boosted to shit and back.
That's true. There's a lot of memes of it already.
Like my wig.
I'm bald. What did you say?
Answer me.
I'm bald. It's one of my favorite ones.
I just like
You won and she chose you and she loved you and she's gone. That's a good one too.
Yeah, no, but like that song at the end, I don't know, like that struck pardon the musical pun, but that struck a chord with me.
It really did. Yeah.
Especially me being a queer person whose family isn't as acceptive as I'd like them to be. Accepting, rather.
Yeah. I don't need you to respect me. I respect me. I don't need you to love me. I love me.
But
Those two lines fucked me up the second I heard them.
Those two lines primed me, and then oh god, I cannot think of the lyrics right now. It was something along the lines of, but you can know me if you change your mind. And
I don't need you to respect me. I respect me. I don't need you to love me. I love me. But I want you to know you could know me
if you change your mind.
Which
is something that, like, I'm trying not to get a little emotional over here already.
Because it's so simplistic.
You know,
it's like such a blunt message.
I'm good. I want you to be a part of my life, but if
you gotta change your mind.
If you want to be trash about it, you're not a necessity.
I don't need you to respect me. I respect me. That song is really.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
this episode was one of the best episodes, if not the best episode of the show.
Yeah, it makes suffering through season 1 worth it.
Yes, it absolutely does.
For those listening, season 1 of Steven Universe is hard to get through.
It's hard.
It's long and it's cheesy, but that's because Rebecca was placating the execs at Cartoon Network.
Don't worry, this is what the show is going to be like. It's going to be great. Once she got the okay, she was like, all right, now we're going to break people's feelings.
Yeah. And I was good. I was good up until this episode.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of little notes caught me. I'm like, ooh, that hit right in the chest.
A couple of, like, she, like, sneaks them in here and there.
And then
once you
and
hit,
then
like,
She's Gone,
3,
and then Change Your Mind, and I'm just a wreck.
Man. Like, there's a couple episodes that really fucked me up in that. But.
Okay.
Lord.
Okay. So, we're going to actually do we want to end this on a positive note?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it. We're skipping in another thing this episode because
for the first time, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are going without our usual rant at the end of the show. Not that there isn't anything to rant about,
but this right here.
But between Steven Universe just snatching everybody and just sitting on like Game of Thrones has its Iron Throne.
Just wig from the homeworld.
Rebecca Sugar has just a throne made just of solidified wigs.
And even the new fucking one of the teasers for it was like
Tighten Your Wigs. The movie is coming.
Rebecca, girl, we know we're on to you. We know what you're doing here.
Because everybody's just
my wig.
And she's like, "Well, you're gonna have to tighten them now because this is a movie. I ain't done with y'all yet."
I'm afraid that I'm gonna be an actual crying mess when it happens. Mm-hmm. Like Change Your Mind got me to shed tears.
Right.
I feel like the movie might end up catching me like all the way deep within said feelings.
Right.
But we're gonna go without our traditional rant because everything is bullshit or Steven Universe related. Mm-hmm. So that wraps up yet another episode of the Baldwin Kids. If you've got any questions, comments, great ideas, or just want to say hi, shoot us an email at askthebkcast@gmail.com or give us a like and shoot us a DM on our Facebook page. You can also, if you want to just yell at me about something, feel free to shoot me a line on Twitter. My handle is @TheIronMagnus. That's TheIronMagnus.
And if you want to find me, I'm on there as the Moon Dancer. Spelled exactly how it sounds, the Moon Dancer. I don't use it, but if you talk to me, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, but I think think that's it. Quick reminder that we are a TSRP Network podcast, and we will be seeing y'all next time. As always, do better.